Hello guys, welcome back to our anime moments. Guys, please like the video and subscribe to my channel. Today is explanation of Swallowed Star episode number 233 based on novel. So let's start. Solar system, about 100 million kilometers in space away from Earth. 12 official level Undyings were surrounding a huge gold disk ship, attacking Luo Feng and Dylan who were hiding within. Use soul attacks straight through the ship against Luo Feng. Don't care about anything else, get rid of him. Yangu communicated to them. Don't ever let that Dylan keep Luo Feng in his world. The moment he enters the world, there'd be no meaning in this battle. Yes, Lord. The 12 Undyings all used their soul attacks, even those not proficient in such techniques did so. As long as their undying energy became voids, they could use it as a soul attack. Whether it was a fighter or spirit reader. They simply used undying energy. Within the ship. Relax, you are both in my body, they cannot get in. However, you'll have to block their spirit attacks. A huge face appeared on the wall in the resting room of the ship. He looked at Luo Feng and Dylan and smiled. Soul attacks are useless against me, however I have no way to block them. The material used to build this resting room has a definite effect on blocking undying energy. It can also weaken the soul attacks, it's the best I can do. Leave the blocking of soul attacks to me. Dylan emphasized. A formless undying energy wrapped about Luo Feng, blocking him against the 12 official level Undying's attacks. Rumble. Even though it wasn't visible, Luo Feng could feel the undying energies attacking over and over. These bastards keep dispersing my world energy. Your Majesty, I have no way to keep you in my world. Dylan's face was panicked. They are aiming straight at you, and from the looks of it, they want to kill you. Kill me? Luo Feng was shocked. Dylan, can you withstand it? It takes up a lot of energy. Dylan replied, his expression heavy. Luckily, I'm proficient in the soul offense and defense. Plus, the walls of this room have a weakening effect on their attacks, I can hold it for a while. However, amongst the 12 official level Undyings, 3 of them are proficient in soul attacks. If time drags long, I may not be able to hold it. Rumble. Rumble. The many undying attacks clashed over and over. Dylan controlled his undying energy into a complex web-like protection against them, blocking them from attacking Luo Feng. Dylan, hold on for a while. 9 Blade Knights people will be here soon. Luo Feng communicated. HM. Dylan's expression was serious, he fought hard to withhold them. Ah. A painful scream. Rumble. An explosion from outside the ship. In the space, even though the 12 official level Undyings already knew this ship had melded with a metal life form, they had kept their guards up and maintained their distance. However, as they flew about and unleashed their soul attacks to no avail over and over, they got more desperate. The further they were, the weaker their soul attacks. Hence the 12 slowly got closer in desperation. And just before, very suddenly, the dark gold disk ship that seemed solid and sturdy suddenly extended a large metal arm, fast as lightning, faster than an Emperor-level Undying's attacking speed. It waved, grabbing one of the official level Undyings proficient in soul attacks and used its strength. With a rumble, the Undying exploded. Be careful of the ship. Stay further away from it. The other 11 Undyings were shocked. Who? Large amounts of green light dispersed in all directions, instantly reforming into a black-robed purple-haired lady. It was obvious that she had reached the undying body level. She communicated anxiously, everybody be careful, this metal life form has good comprehension of the space laws. When it exploded my undying body, my dispersed undying energy was actually unable to escape for a while. That hand locked me in with space laws and destroyed my undying energy. I lost a great amount of it. What? The other 11 were shocked. With an undying body, being destroyed once had almost no effect on their energies. Of course, it depended on who used it. Like in Primal Chaos City, back when the city leader's palm smashed down casually on the 2 Undyings, they were smashed so hard they were very close to dying, but of course they were spared. This level of control was much harder than simply killing those 2 Undyings. Unlike true Yang Emperor, he could easily kill an official level with just one move. Ha ha ha, see if you dare underestimate me. Ha ha, 3 proficient in soul attacks, 1 heavily injured. The other can give up on attacking with their full strength. A huge human face appeared on the ship. He laughed loudly and became a blur as it extended 2 huge hands and grabbed about. He even aimed at the other 2 specialized in soul attacks. It forced the 12 official level Undyings to dodge over and over while attacking. This naturally lowered their attacking power by a lot. Through the external simulator, Luofeng and Dylan clearly saw everything. It's much easier. Dylan was happy. What a strong ship. Luofeng complimented the sturdiness of the ship. This ship was an F9 grade ship that had melded with a metal life form. In terms of defense, it was extremely strong, and the metal life form made it even more special. Just like if a metal mountain suddenly became a life form, its life construct would definitely have huge differences from a flesh and blood life form. In the universe, there were many life forms without souls. Many of them, and the Moshe clansman was one. Those without souls would naturally have their life cores. When Luofeng and Dylan along with the metal life form ship were facing off against the 12 official level Undyings, Yangu and the other 5 Emperor level Undyings were worried. Useless, useless. Yangu roared within. Ha ha, Yangu, they can't even harm Luofeng, you should just give up. Bloodthirsty Emperor laughed and waved a peculiar-shaped blade, fighting it out with the 6. Rumble. The surrounding space was torn apart. Every time it was recovering, it was sliced through again. A 1,000,000-kilometer in diameter area about was completely torn apart. The space flowed madly about, with the 7 emperors fighting it out madly. However, the mad space flow couldn't even hurt them. Boom! Yangu blocked a blade and was instantly knocked back hundreds of thousands of kilometers, spitting out gold blood. Senior, what do we do? The other emperors were anxious too, of which the black-armored lady communicated, it's 6 of us against Bloodthirst Emperor and yet we are at a disadvantage. These 12 useless things cannot kill Luofeng, we are purely wasting time. If Bloodthirst Emperor could get here so fast, the other people from the Virtual Universe Company will be here soon. I know. Yangu was incredibly worried. At this time, the distant gold disk ship suddenly had a blur of gold light about it. With the gold blur, an incredibly huge pressure spread throughout. The strength of this wave instantly covered the surrounding 10 million kilometer, even the battling Yangu and the others all stopped. God country teleportation. Yangu's expression was ashen. A blur of silhouettes, everyone giving off terrifying pressure, gathered together, it reached an unbelievable level. Even though he was over 1,000,000 kilometers away, Yangu still shuddered within. Silence. Space was silent, the 12 official level Undyings along with Yangu and the other emperors all gathered. Bloodthirst Emperor flew towards the gold disk and it naturally opened a door at its side. Luofeng and Dylan flew out into space. My God. Luofeng watched the blur of silhouettes appear, completely stunned. With just a glance, it was at least 1,000. Every one of them had energies that exceeded Dylan, even with others that were comparable to Bloodthirst Emperor. A god country teleportation of over 1,000 Undyings in the silent space. The amount of power was even bigger than the Undying Mother Nest before. These weren't 1,000 normal Undyings, this was the true elite of a knight, capable of easily stomping on an Undying Mother Nest. This 1,000 was led by a jade-armored lady wielding 2 blades, as her cold energy spread throughout. Luofeng. She looked at Luofeng, I'm here on the knight's orders to protect you. Thank you, knight, thank you all. Luofeng bowed respectfully in space. The jade-armored god, along with the entire army's pressure all looked at Yangu. She roared coldly, Yangu Emperor, Luofeng is a member of our Virtual Universe Company, what right does you huge axe dojo have to make a move on our member? Yangu's expression was ugly, he rubbed the blood on his lips and snorted coldly. Capture Yangu Emperor. The lady ordered. Yes. Immediately, 26 Emperor-level Undyings flashed over like lightning. This made Yangu and his other emperors all change their expressions. The Virtual Universe Company and the huge Axe Dojo were both leviathans of humanity, they frequently had little squabbles. However, his actions today had made it so that if he were truly to be captured, even the huge Axe Dojo would find it hard to save him. And once he was captured, it would be a true humiliation. Get lost. Yangu's eyes gleamed with madness. He howled fiercely and the ancient engraving on his forehead lit up, terrifying energy emanated in all directions. Like a fierce beast that was awakening, his forehead seemed to begin to tear apart, revealing a single purple vertical eye. The purple vertical eye shot out a purple gaze, sweeping past the surrounding space and condensing the area about. He'd rather fight it out before being captured. Rumble. There were ripples in space and a terrifying pressure descended, almost like a dragon descending on countless ants. The energy made the surrounding people all submit immediately, as it spread over the surrounding star field. The powerful Undying Army's power was instantly squashed, and even the uprising Yangu was suddenly pushed back down, forcefully stopped halfway through his move. A blur silhouette gradually appeared. "Father!" Yangu turned and shouted with glee. Standing beside the vast Undying Army, Luo Feng could clearly feel the powerful energy from this army beside him. Barbata shouted loudly within Luo Feng's mind, "Undying Army. These Undying are all stronger than your teacher Hu Yangbo. This is definitely an elite army, there's actually no normal one within." Luo Feng had never felt such a terrifying wave of power before. 26 Emperor-level Undyings immediately surrounded Yangshu Emperor. Yangshu grew mad and began to unleash his trump card. Rumble. The purple vertical eye that split open on his forehead condensed the surrounding million-kilometer of space. That ancient energy instantly made the weakest person in the area Luo Feng fall into a nightmare illusion. He felt like the entire vast universe had vanished before him, leaving only the purple eye floating in space. Yangshu Emperor is terrifying. Luo Feng was just shaken out of it. However, a force hundreds to thousands of times even stronger descended and caused Luo Feng's soul to instantly go black. He had lost consciousness immediately, before awakening later as he heard the despicable voice of Yangshu Emperor shouting, "Father!" "Shahan Knight?" Luo Feng blinked his eyes and looked over. In the distant space, a majestic being stood there. His body was a blur, surrounded by black flames that spread over 1,000,000 kilometers about. If Earth was to touch these flames, it would instantly be reduced to ash. Even the space around was burning into particle streams. The large amounts of space flow between became nothing but particles. At this instant, everything within the solar system was under his power. Universe space, with him as the dictator? He was the ruler of space itself. Luo Feng could clearly feel this feeling. The blurry being within the core of the black flames that burned hotter than the sun, he was invincible. This was the being that at Sector Lord level could kill an official level Undying, becoming an emperor straight after breaking through to Undying. In 100,000 years he became a knight. Shahan Knight? Luo Feng muttered. Over 1,000,000,000,000 years, this being has been invincible and terrifying. Those black flames, it reminds me of the 9 black planets that burned with black flames, the ones Tianxia Palace's leader demonstrated for me back then. Comparing Tianxia Palace's leader to Shahan Knight. Tianxia Palace's leader was more controlled, he probably didn't want to bully little Luo Feng. Hence he controlled his power more. Shahan Knight however burnt with black flames over the 1,000,000-kilometer in area, he unleashed his strength. "Greetings Shahan Knight." The jade-armored lady bowed respectfully, following which the vast Undying Army all bowed respectfully too. "Greetings Knight." Luo Feng and Dylan bowed too. "Greetings teacher." "Greetings Knight." The 12 official-level Undyings and 5 Emperor-level Undyings all bowed respectfully. Only Yangshu Emperor was glowing with the purple light as the eye on his forehead began to close, shouted out excitedly to his father, after which he roared angrily at the Undying Army, "Father, 9 Blade Knights Undyings actually want to capture me." With a snort, Luo Feng felt his consciousness shake, it resounded amongst all the Undyings about. "You'd rather use the forbidden skill than look for me?" The majestic being within the black flames said, with a sense of rage. "If you'd have trained well, you'd long have reached the level of controlling that treasure. Then you'd have no fear of these Emperor-level Undyings." "Yes." Yangshu bowed respectfully, not daring to say any more. The majestic being looked at the army, his voice rumbling through their minds, "Jade." "Jade greets Shahan Knight." The jade-armored lady, leader of the Undying Army, replied respectfully. Jade Emperor was 9 Blade Knight's strongest Undying. Jade, Tongnan, Truyang, they were life-or-death friends. They frequently explored the secret regions together, and through the many experiences, they naturally became good friends. And it was obvious that they were all extremely powerful, belonging to the pinnacle of emperors. Of course, Truyang Emperor, he was amongst the countless races in the universe, trillions of Undyings, the closest to becoming a knight. Even against a knight, he would survive. Jade and Tongnan were slightly weaker. "Jade?" Shahan Knight roared amidst the black flames, "Did you order the capture of my son?" "Shahan Knight." Jade's appearance was beautiful. The jade armor had gems that were translucent. As she was standing there, it was almost like she wasn't there. Obviously she could withstand the pressure as she smiled respectfully. "I'm here on the orders of the knight to protect Luo Feng. And Yangshu brought people to even kill him. No matter what, Luo Feng is still a core member of our virtual universe company. Any punishment should be dealt by the company. Yang Zhu's actions, he has overstepped. Hence, I want to capture him and bring him to the night. Yang Zhu is my son, any punishment will be done by me and not Nine Blade. Shahan Knight's voice boomed like thunder. It made all the Undyings in the army grimace in pain. Luo Feng, however, didn't feel anything. That's strange. Luo Feng looked at the over 1,000 Undyings along with Dylan and Bloodthirst Emperor all grimace in pain, only he wasn't affected. It's probably cause I'm too weak. The moment it hits me, I'd probably die instantly, hence he didn't target me. Luo Feng thought. Looking at the army all grimace in pain, Yang Zhu and his group were satisfied. Take this as a punishment. Shahan Knight said coldly, remember, don't ever disrespect any knight. Jade could only lower her head and bow respectfully, yes. After all, in terms of strength, Shahan Knight was even stronger than Nine Blade. He floated amidst the black flames, after which his gaze fell on Luo Feng. His voice becoming more affectionate, you are Luo Feng? So powerful, forcing even Jade Emperor to lower her head, the entire Undying army submitting under the pressure. Luo Feng was still exclaiming when he discovered the being's gaze on him. He was stunned as he heard the gentle voice, that's Luo Feng? All the Undyings there could only stare in shock. This? Is this the same tyrannical Shahan Knight? A genius amongst the absolute geniuses. He didn't need to bother himself with such little beings, yet he spoke with such a gentle tone to Luo Feng. I am. Luo Feng was stunned as he quickly reacted. Bowing respectfully, he said, greetings knight. Shahan Knight's voice didn't seem to have any rage, all it had was affection. I had asked my son to come talk to you about selling the rights of Earth. I didn't expect this useless son of mine to make such a mess of it. Luo Feng blinked his eyes. Jade Emperor and the other Undyings were all speechless. I? Yang Zhu stared even wider. Father. Shut up. Shahan Knight's roar caused Yang Zhu to get even more angry and nervous. The entire atmosphere within that space was awkward. Shahan Knight's pampering of his son was well reputed throughout. However today, he was that courteous to a little domain lord punk and fierce towards his son. This was unbelievable. Luo Feng may be a rare genius of a 10,000 eras. However, even a rare genius of 10 million years wouldn't be treated that way. Geniuses were ultimately just that. The strong were the strong. Before truly becoming one of the strong, none of them deserved to be treated that well by Shahan Knight. Luo Feng, I'll talk to you personally, are you willing to sell Earth to me? Shahan Knight smiled at Luo Feng. Whatever conditions there are, just speak. Knight. Luo Feng said respectfully. Earth is my home and all the humans of Earth, no matter what, I won't be willing to sell it. Luo Feng had seen through the situation. No matter what. Nine Blade Knight had already intervened, meaning this matter was already a clash between the two Leviathans. Shahan Knight wouldn't make a move against him. Ah, the birthplace of a race? Shahan Knight nodded, as a birthplace, Earth is indeed special to you, I won't force you. Yang Zhu. Shahan Knight turned to his son. Yang Zhu Emperor was shocked. Even though he was called Yang Zhu Emperor, this was just a name for respect and formalities. Those that were higher in power may simply call him Yang Zhu, taking away the emperor position. However, his true name was Meng Cha Luo. As his father, Shahan Knight would normally call him by his true name, as it was more affectionate. Only when he was unhappy would he call him Yang Zhu. Father. Yang Zhu felt the tone of his father's voice, shouting out respectfully. I only gave you the right to buy Earth. I'd never expect you to go to such lengths. If Dylan didn't protect Luo Feng, would you have killed him? Shahan's serious voice was filled with rage. Father? Yang Zhu looked at his father suspiciously. You don't know when to stop. If this goes on, who knows what huge trouble you will bring. Shahan Knight said coldly. I now punish you, to be imprisoned in the 9th Starfield jail hell for 1,000 eras. Father. Yang Zhu stared wide-eyed. Luo Feng, Bloodthirst Emperor, Jade Emperor, Dylan etc., all the Undyings there were stunned. My God. Back then, Shahan Knight had thrown his son into the 9th jail hell, however that was only for 1,000 years. This time it was 1,000 eras, that was over 10 million years, and in the 9th jail hell, that was a long-lasting nightmare. All the Undyings were stunned and speechless. Even if Yangu had killed Luo Feng, it didn't deserve such a severe punishment. You lot, go back now. Shahan Knight ordered the 5 emperors and 12 official-level undyings. Yes, Knight. Yes, teacher. The many undyings bowed respectfully. After which, Bao Jin Emperor released his undying energy to wrap everyone and instantly teleported 1 light year away before they all dispersed. After all, if they teleported via their god country before 9-Blade Knight's army, they would reveal their god country's locations. Yangshu, release all the Earthlings. Shahan Knight ordered. Yes. Yangshu didn't dare resist. He became a beam of light flying above Earth and releasing a large number of the humans back. Over 1 billion of them were placed randomly throughout. Some Chinese people appeared in North America, some white people appearing in Africa, and so on. It was a mess. For everyone to be sent back to their respective homes and for Earth to regain its order, it would take at least 10 days to half a month, and this was also because of its advanced technology. After a while, Yangshu flew back. Shahan Knight looked at his crestfallen son and shook his head, ordering, "Let's go." Rumble. His black flames wrapped about his son, and in an instant, the both of them had vanished. Within the vast god country, Shahan Knight and Yangshu Emperor appeared within on a mountain peak. Father! Yangshu looked at Shahan Knight, his eyes filled with rage. Why have you sent me to the 9th jail hell, and for 1,000 eras? Don't say it's because of Luo Feng, I don't believe it. Even if I killed him, it wouldn't deserve such a severe punishment. Yangshu was indeed enraged. Even though he respected his father, this punishment was too heavy. He could only bear with it and ask later. He wanted to know the truth. Cha Luo. Shahan Knight rubbed his son's head and said softly. This isn't something I wanted. Yangshu's eyes gleamed. However, my teacher ordered me to do so in this matter, saying you are getting out of hand and have to be punished heavily. Shahan Knight sighed. Back then, my teacher said, to send you to the 9th Starfield jail hell for 1,000 eras, that it was considered a small punishment. Father, your teacher? Yangshu stared wide-eyed. Rumble. Yangshu felt like his brain had exploded. His father was Shahan Knight, his position alone plus his sect within the huge axe dojo was already absolute. Even against Undying Knight, it wasn't too big a difference. Even though Undying Knight's position was high and he was powerful, he was a lone wolf without a sect and help. Hence Shahan Knight wouldn't be too afraid of him. However, Shahan Knight's teacher, that was something else. All of Shahan Knight's sects, the true leader of them was his teacher. Shahan Knight was but one of the great being's disciples. That great being was the true powerful dictator within the huge axe dojo, and probably only the founder of the huge axe dojo could suppress him. Void Gold Master. Yangshu said hoarsely. Shahan Knight's teacher, Void Gold Master. A true dictator within humanity's ancient and endless history. He was a true power within one of the 2 great leviathans of humanity, the huge axe dojo. Even within, he was one of the pinnacle beings, with only the founder capable of making him bow. Void Gold Master wanted to punish me? Yangshu was filled with fear. The great Void Gold Master, why has he taken notice of me? Void Gold Master. High above, even the universe country leaders bowed before him, Shahan Knight and those level of beings all bowed before him. Even the entire Gold Horn race, they would all shudder before him. The most ancient and powerful beings of humanity, this was the level of being he was. To be able to hear his name from Void Gold Master, Yangshu should already feel extremely honored. And this was within the pinnacle race of humanity, like the Gold Horn race and many other races, they could never produce such a level of being like Void Gold Master. Even within humanity itself, it took countless calamities and trials for such a being to be produced. Father. Yangshu looked anxiously at his father. Why has he noticed me? He was afraid. Even his father was afraid of him. Yangshu belonged to the Void Gold sect. If the master wanted to kill him, who could protect him? Teacher said to punish you. As for the specific details, I don't know. Since he didn't say it, I didn't dare ask. Shahan Knight looked at his son. However, you can relax. At his level of being, how respected is it? It's not worthy of him to deal with a small punk like you. Yangshu nodded. Teacher's orders made me suspect whether Luo Feng has any connections with him. Shahan frowned. Ah? Yangshu was taken aback. Father, so you treated him that well earlier. It was all because your matters on Earth have drawn his attention, hence he wants to punish you. Shahan Knight nodded slightly. Teacher is very protective, yet he still wants you to enter the 9th jail hell for 1,000 eras. I can only guess that he has some connections with Luo Feng. But Luo Feng is from the Virtual Universe Company and Void Gold Master is from the Huge Axe Dojo. Yangu said. I'm not sure about the details. Shahan Knight shook his head. Yangu could only sigh. He anticipated the day his father could become a being like Void Gold Master. That would be absurd. Whether it was the Primal Chaos City leader or Void Gold Master, they all stood at the true pinnacle of humanity. These were beings that stood above the vast countless other races. Since it was teacher's orders, then you'll have to go serve your 1,000 eras. You've indeed caused much trouble these past few years, it's time you trained. When you can control that treasure, anything under a knight shouldn't be a threat. Even that true Yang, you'll be able to match him. After all, strength is absolute, father cannot always protect you. Shahan Knight said. Yangu nodded. Solar system. The vast undying army led by Jade Emperor all became a blurry light, teleporting via their god country away. It left only Bloodthirst Emperor, Dylan, and Luo Feng. They just teleported like that? Luo Feng was shocked. Aren't they afraid of their god country coordinates being revealed? The one using the teleport should be an undying slave. Bloodthirst Emperor smiled causally. And after using it, that slave would have to work hard to move his god country's position. That way, the coordinates would be useless. Move the god country coordinates? Luo Feng was curious. God countries lie within the slips of space, and these slips are vast and endless. Naturally, the god countries can be moved within them, leaving the original position. Bloodthirst Emperor said, however, the movement of the god countries are extremely slow. If one searched for the coordinates immediately, that would be extremely dangerous. Luo Feng nodded. Junior, do you know Shahan Knight? Bloodthirst Emperor looked at Luo Feng. Luo Feng shook his head. No, I've only lived for a few hundred years, how could I know him? Then why was he so courteous, so strange? Bloodthirst Emperor frowned. The knights are all-powerful invincible beings of the universe. They usually can't be bothered with little punks like you. I don't know. Luo Feng was puzzled as well. After which he smiled and said, Senior, it's rare you come around here, let's head to Earth for a while. All right. Bloodthirst Emperor replied easily. Earth, China, Yangu City, Luo residence. After Luo Feng got back, he released his family. Dad. Master. Luo Feng. The residents got busy instantly. Luo Honghua said, Little Feng, when I was kept in the world earlier, I immediately connected to the Virtual Universe Network, contacting many of my friends before finding out that many of them were kept in a world too. I heard over 1 billion of them were all kept together. However, they all didn't know it was you who kept them, hence they were extremely terrified. Ha! Luo Feng laughed. The other people of Earth weren't kept by him. What a mess. Luo Feng used his spirit energy to scan. He couldn't help but laugh as it swept past Yangu City. It was a hot summer day, yet there were many white people in jackets in the city, even some nude with towels appearing in the streets. Some even appeared at the top of skyscrapers. Virtual Universe Thunder Island. Nine-Blade Knight had mobilized such a huge undying army, and they had gathered at the Primal Region's 9th teleportation spot. Naturally, the upper echelon of the Virtual Universe Company would know of it. The incident on Earth couldn't be hidden. Many knights came over to question Nine-Blade. Ha ha, I've checked in with some good friends in the Huge Axe Dojo. It wasn't just Shahan Knight and Undying Knight. There were many other knights there that sent their elites over to Earth. However, Shahan Knight's people got there first. Luckily they didn't succeed. Right, if Earth truly is a treasure land, it should be our Virtual Universe companies. That leader of Earth, that punk Luo Feng, he is a genius of ours. Nine-Blade, this Earth seems like a very normal life planet. We should have discovered something special long ago. Just what was it that made so many of the Huge Axe Dojo Knights send their people down? What is special about Earth, Nine-Blade? Tell us. I have no clue. Thunder Island, within Nine-Blade Knight's palace, the few powerful knights and universe country leaders had all come. Yet they all left after over 8 of them had come to question Nine-Blade. The palace regained its calm. Jade Emperor, who was dressed in her jade armor, walked in, and in the throne a silhouette appeared. It was the green-robed purple-scaled man. Jade Emperor bowed respectfully. Knight. Arrange it for me, I wish to see Luo Feng personally. Nine-Blade Knight ordered. This video will end here. Thank you for watching.